voice to a people who longed to be heard.
You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray.
But you're saying you're anti-white.
No, you're saying I'm anti-white.
I'm sorry, Betty. I haven't been the best husband.
I love you.
My brother.
Yeah.
Welcome. I welcome you. I welcome you who are listening to this program on the internet. Welcome.
And we mean listening.
Listening, not with your mouth, but with your ears and sometimes with your eyes. We welcome you because this is your movie club. This is your movie club, brother Shakis. This is the movie club that you will listen to, and this is Black History Month. And what other movie should we start with if not MalcolmX? Directed by, erected by, taught by Mr. Spike Lee. Now sit down, calm down. The audience needs to be calm now. Now let us begin. Shakis, it's time to get black, bruh. It's time to get black. Immediately after I say that, you got to put this song in. It's time to get blacker than black, son.
Yeah. You're going all the way back.
All the way. I'm going all the way black. And what other way to start than with the man himself, the man who every movie is going to teach you some shit about Black history. I'm talking. This man is. I can't describe Spike Lee without black.
Spike Lee cannot describe himself without the word black.
Without black.
His art expresses itself as blackness.
It does.
It really does.
What did you? So this ain't your first.
This ain't my first Spike Lee joint.
This ain't your first Spike Lee joint.
I think this is like my third.
Third? I thought it might be your second.
I think it might be my second, but it might also be my third.
What's your other Spike Lee joints? I know the Five Blood, the Bloods.
What's up, Blood?
What's up, Blood?
Black Klansman.
Black Klansman. Okay. There it is. This is your third.
I knew this was my first one.
This is your third. Okay.
Yeah,
so what do you think? This isn't his first.
Right.
You know, this isn't Spike Lee's first film. This is Spike Lee. Excuse me. I gotta put some respect on this man. This ain't his first Spike Lee joint. This is his fourth, I would say. Fifth, even. Right? So what do you think? What do you think of Spike Lee's fifth joint?
This one is what we refer to. This is a thick ass joint right here. This shit long as hell, Spike. Scroll down to the runtime. This shit is 201 minutes. That sounds too short. This shit is long as hell. No, wait, 180 minutes. That's 3 hours. Yeah. This is almost a 3.5 hour joint.
Mm-hmm.
I was high as hell. God damn, Spike.
Spiked all full of speaking of Spike, spiked all full of Black history up in here.
So there's so much shit in here, and the first thing I have to say, aside from that, the fact that it's fucking long as hell, is that as far as the history here, I'm not exactly sure about how much stuff is accurate, so I can't really speak on that type of thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that.
I always err on the side of there's gonna be some embellishment.
Of course,
you know.
But man,
speak your mind.
There's too much going on.
We'll parse it out.
Like it's a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't know anything about Malcolm X, honestly, first let me slow down.
Let me help you out. Let me help you out. Talk about the story.
Okay. So, shit. What was the? I like this though. This movie was actually really cool, even though it's very, very long. A lot can be trimmed down, I think. A whole lot, just because it's 3.5 hour.
Okay, what would you trim?
Just some of these scenes the dance scenes don't need to be as long. If honestly we can cut a lot of the first act, I guess, of him and his old criminal ways, we can kind of cut, sections of that to be a little shorter. As it goes on, it kind of increases in pace. So like as you're viewing it, it doesn't feel as long as it is, which is a boon for the movie, but it also still takes a lot to set up. So like the setup takes a little bit, you coast on that, and then we have the climax, which happens very quick, and we transition to the next act.
See, and I would agree with you there, and I kind of wonder myself, because I don't know, I agree with you, but I don't know if you don't need the first act. You know what I mean?
You don't think we need it at all?
No, I'm saying I don't know if we don't need it. I'm using a double negative.
Oh.
Maybe we do need it. Like, because I don't know if we we don't need all of that to read into if we don't need to know who Malcolm was and to read into what Malcolm becomes. Because at that point, like there are some scenes you can't trim down. I don't know what the flap house scene was that it needed to be there. That was I can't I don't know how Spike Lee got that past producers in the studio and shit like that.
I don't know how he got a 3.5 hour movie out.
Is pivotal to the whole film. This is the piece that holds the whole thing together. It ain't Spike. What was with that scene? But everything else, like the criminal, like his criminal past, his relationship with Sophie, his relationship with Archie. I don't exactly know where I would cut myself.
The exact wheres I can understand. I feel you, because it's like if we cut that out, but then this is kind of important down the line.
So like, would you start at the prison, almost have like the beginning be like the Star Wars preamble, and just have that come, Brother Malcolm was this, and he has found himself in prison, and then we get to him in imprisonment, and then him meeting Baines. Because you are right. Once that happens, I believe at that point, that is when the story starts picking up, and that's when we get into the meat of the actual story.
Yeah, I would say so.
From that second half, it's only mentioned that he was in prison. Like he says that himself in like speeches and things of that nature.
He definitely owns up to his past.
So would it not have been more prevalent to like cut out that first hour and then have it be like that? I literally think it was an hour, because I was checking my phone the entire time to keep time.
I was like, yeah,
and I think it was an hour. So I think like cutting that out, would that have hurt the film? And I really don't know that, because I do feel like. Because I feel the same way as when I was watching Get On Up, which is not in any way as long a film as Malcolm X, but I do feel kind of tells the same story, well, in a different way, where it tells the life of James Brown from like his beginning onto like his rise to stardom and then his sudden decline. I like having that stuff in there, and if we weren't watching this so late, in the evening, and then going to record this afterwards, I'd be like, this is fine. But I really do wonder if cutting that out would better serve the movie.
I don't think I would cut it all though, because it all plays into how Malcolm treats himself and how he views the world, like on a constant level. Like the racism that he experienced as a child, the betrayal that he goes through with the guy who, maybe rightfully betrayed him. That was a crazy scene.
Wait, which scene?
The scene with the Russian roulette that wasn't Russian roulette.
Oh, wait, betrayal.
Yeah, I feel like that guy betrayed him. He was the only one who wasn't there at the trial. Everybody else was there. Both the women were there.
I thought he might have died.
I mean, they showed us everyone else who could have possibly died, and he just kind of disappeared.
Right.
And there was a lot of police just kind of there. He was the connection to the guy that they even robbed. So it was like, yeah, he kind of rightfully betrayed him. So, and then there is that one scene with her name wasn't Brenda. Brenda was his actual wife, right?
Betty was the actual
Betty
wife.
was the actual wife. Disrespect on me. Who was that church girl that he was with?
Lou, some sort of L. Laura.
Laura. Yeah, well, Laura. Mm-hmm. Like from his interactions with women before meeting Baines, he's not very fond of women being independent or really. He even specifically states, or Denzel specifically states, I don't like women that talk so much. And damn near assaults another woman after he blew her off on a date. Not cool. Not cool.
No, not at all.
And so, like, he does a lot of grimy shit before he goes to prison. And even, when he's in prison, he isn't really, changing in any way until, he keeps being fed these words by Baines, who, clean up your act, don't do drugs, don't fornicate and all of this other mess, and, devote yourself to the teachings of, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Right.
All that stuff. He does become a better person. He actually cleans up his act. He just devotes himself fully to the cause that he's doing, and, kind of does treat people a little bit better. So it's like seeing
the juxtaposition of him as he was young to him now.
Yeah, it's like I like character growth, and I know movies are a different medium than every other medium, like animation, TV style, and actual shows. And I like good characters. I like character growth and character development, and seeing that is very important. In film, it's a lot harder to do because you don't have. Everyone can't have a 3.5 hour movie to explore just, the character.
Right.
So exactly where to cut, like I said, I don't know exactly when. It's just start on some of the scenes. Some of the scenes could probably just be a little more to the point, a little faster.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about some of that cinematography. That stuff we do so well, don't you agree? People out there.
Hey, y'all know y'all love it.
Y'all ain't made shit. What you talking?
Y'all know y'all
Y'all
love
ain't
it.
made nothing forever.
You can't say none.
Ouch. There are certain things in here that I find kind of weird. So like starting off the movie with the text at the beginning to give us the Boston, the war times.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about the beginning too.
And then nothing else, nowhere else. Like that to me was very strange. Like, why would you bookmark the beginning and then not the middle? And then why not just leave that out? That was unnecessary because it's not like we ever saw like news clippings of the war or nothing about the war was kind of important.
No, it's not. It honestly isn't really ever mentioned. It's just like, I mean, if you know when World War II is, you kind of have it's one of those things where he, again, assumes that we would know what he means.
Right. But I'm saying, though, like, why do it there?
Yeah, and not anywhere else.
Never again. Like,
because they do, like, 8 years later, and they give you some time, but you never really know what time it is.
Right.
So, yeah, I get your point.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they do it visually, which is great. Like, when they're showing off JFK. Like, when you show off the JFK assassination, we know when the fuck it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you show off news clippings or television clips of Martin Luther King, we pretty much know when that is. So why in the beginning we didn't really need to know where that was? That was strange to me. That was a strange decision.
I can understand that.
There are others, like when he's talking in the college. There's a bunch of like almost like the kind of like orbit shots of them going in and out of Malcolm. I thought that was weird. I thought that was a weird way to do that.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to do, trying to keep it interesting because it's so long a scene because he's delivering an entire speech. But yeah, some of it's just like, what is the purpose of this shot?
Right.
Because I'm focused more on why you're doing this shot
than what
the
he's
actual
actually
shot.
saying. Yeah, that's very strange to me. Like you want me focused on him. I would have done a slow push in on him, done some like dynamic close ups or something of Malcolm that hit poignant, parts of what he's saying, and then obviously some reaction shots of the audience that he has, which he does, and they're really good. I'm just saying
he does it sometimes,
the other
but not
dynamic
enough.
Shots just seem like they're there for. There seems like a lot of shots in here that are experimental. And instead of actually having a reason. Yeah,
like that one shot at the end where.
Now that is the Spike Lee shot.
That's the Spike Lee shot?
That is the Spike Lee. He has that in nearly, if not all of his movies, nearly all of his movies.
Okay.
Remember that in Black Klansman, and it shows up out of nowhere where it's literally in the last scene. He does it in the last act. I don't know why, but it's in the last act when it's John David Washington, old girl in like the apartment building. They're moving through the hallway.
Yeah. That was right after that dolly zoom. I really remember the dolly zoom because I don't see it as often.
So and I felt it was weird there too. Like it's his shot. He loves that shot, but I don't know why it's there.
It's very unique, and that makes it very jarring to see. Yeah, is what I'll say about it.
Some shots I do like is the one we mentioned earlier where he has Denzel in the photo of Malcolm X, and then it fades into him actually being in the scene. I think that was really clever, and it was really well done. I really do like the juxtaposition of like there was that shot when Baines is talking about the Negro while they're in prison, and it shows this like the pan across to all these people in the prison as he's saying it. I thought that was real cool, and then it happening again at the end when they're talking about Malcolm X and his legacy, and sort of how like it shows like the Negro in prison, but then the Negro out here in freedom, pretty much.
Right.
Just as a difference. I really like that. I really like them playing back towards his father in the beginning. Like that scene is almost like shot for shot. Yeah. The beginning scene when he's when his father's in his bedroom and the Ku Klux Klan is coming to harass him and light his house on fire, and now he's getting his house lit on fire by the Nation of Islam.
Presumed.
Presumed. I don't want them coming after me either. Presumed. And him with a gun in his hand getting his family to safety. I really, really do like that. It's those callbacks that do make that beginning part definitely worth it. What about you?
Specifically, you've kind of covered a lot of the ones that I'm thinking about. Like, but he also has where in pretty much a lot of like these bioflicks and like documentaries where they will intersplice in like newspaper clippings or some sort of old footage from the time period or some footage of that time period that'll like kind of that fits like some dialogue or something that's going on. And he did it a lot more towards the end of the movie, especially after Malcolm gets assassinated. But a lot of those shots were just very nice to see because it's basically just like a wall of text of someone delivering basically not it was a eulogy at Malcolm's funeral, and a lot of that is like really visually interesting. It's really moving around, and there's a lot of there's just like nonstop footage of actual Malcolm X just living his life, like, and it I don't know exactly when the footage is, so I'd have to like go back and actually research this. If it goes
people, we just watch the movie and then we just do the thing, so no prior research, no post research afterwards.
But I'd have to check if the footage goes like if it's a chronological montage of footage. But I don't feel like it is because sometimes we see Malcolm with the beard and sometimes we see him back when he's clean cut. And obviously looking a little bit younger. So I don't think so, but it could be. I'm not really sure. But I liked the opening. Like the one thing I could say about Spike in his movies, aside from the fact that Spike is gonna tell you what his cup of tea is. He's gonna tell you about the black struggle. He's gonna tell you about race relations. He's gonna tell you something you might not have known before. but he also has the balls to do it consistently. Mm-hmm. Man, ain't none if he ain't nothing but fucking balls.
Nah, he is okay. That was weird. I'm not gonna put that was weird.
As I said it, I felt that it was wrong and it was too late. It was too late. It was too late. I couldn't go silent because then you'll be like, "What is he?"
I'm not the only one who just like shoots off the cliff.
No. I was like I said, my brain is already moving too fast for what I'm just like.
That was funny as shit. I'm sorry. That was funny as hell. But no, that man is that is one thing I will say about Spike Lee as a freaking director is that he is true to himself.
Yeah,
and his vision.
I can now that I say that, I can understand how he got a 2-hour sequence of shit through to the producer. He's like, hey, this movie ain't going nowhere until we get this in.
Like Spike Lee's probably the only black director I feel like would have final cut.
Low key.
Just because I feel like he would sit there and lecture them until he got just get to him. Just Jesus Christ.
He ain't gonna let us edit. We're never gonna get this done. Just do it
to him, but get out, Spike.
And it's like basically going backwards. In the viewing it's crazy how this man got a 3.5 hour movie.
Insane.
In what was this? 1992 out. Like, and then he starts by burning the American flag on film.
Insane. That is something if you want to bring up. That is an insane opening.
Like that. As long as this movie is, and I knew that going ahead, that got me interested as soon as the movie started. I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be crazy, and then it starts off real 1950s, but 50s. And then it gets crazy. So.
And then it gets crazy. All right, so let's talk about the acting. And I'm just gonna say this off jump: Denzel Washington does not miss.
He killed it.
Within the heat of battle, he does not miss.
Bullseye.
That man. One. I can see the nose of Training Day in this man right here in this performance right here. I can see the nose of Training Day in this performance. Denzel Washington is such a charming actor. He puts it all out there on the board, the good and the bad.
He doesn't hold anything back.
He don't.
My favorite scenes, aside like the third act of the movie is probably my favorite. It moves the quickest. But it's just there's not a lot for the camera to really like. There's not much for anything to really do. So it's just like Denzel just chewing up the scene, and it's just it's so amazing. Like it's just so impressive how encapsulated in the role that he was. Like it's just very damn good acting.
It is. That's the pinnacle of good acting.
I almost forgot. My favorite scene is when he brings up the money for the numbers where he was trying to con that dude. Just like the look on his face, like throughout that whole scene, is just so
Did he con him?
Wild.
Because he says the numbers, and if the scene before to be believed,
if it's to be believed,
he said those numbers.
He said the numbers, but apparently the dude went back and checked.
Well, I feel like he went back and checked, but even if the dude told him like, no, it was right, he probably kill him and be like, no, this is about my rep. I can't miss.
Yeah, because he did say that when he was very downtrodden.
Invalid, yeah.
And he was like, all I had was my
all I had was my rep. So, I wasn't going to shoot you.
I can't.
Lies.
He was definitely going to shoot him. He was going to shoot him and the woman.
Exactly. Well, I mean, he could have shot Sophie. He could have went back and got Sophie. Because she didn't leave.
She was with Malcolm. But then she went to prison too. But she only got 2 years.
Yeah, no. I mean, afterwards she was. But that night when he left the club, he left by himself.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? He could have went back and got her ass. So maybe there's some truth to what he's saying. Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe he just would have made him leave and say, if you ever come back, you got to go.
Maybe.
On
some Scar shit.
On some Scar shit. What was the other scene? And the scene. No, yeah, that's still the third act. When it's weird. Like it's just like all the pains of like the frustration of having dealing with all the shit from the nation. It was when he after he visited the women that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad knocked up and had children with and just left and just didn't support them. It's like he was like my faith was absolutely destroyed or something like that. It has what is it called? I'll just say narration from Denzel, like that whole scene with him and Angela Bassett, who killed it in this movie too, who absolutely destroyed this movie from the first scene she was in. Like, oh my God, yeah. Those are my favorite scenes. It's like the moments where he's so downtrodden. Oh, did I not finish it?
I don't think so. You immediately left fielded into Angela Bassett killing the role.
yeah, she did. That whole scene with the back and forth between the two of them. That was some
tells
powerful.
That man, I am not made of glass. And I was like, you right, but I also don't want you to die. Like,
He really don't. And apparently these brothers don't play.
They do not. Oh God, I hate them. Like just that made me angry. I'm not gonna lie. It made me not happy. You know what I found weird? I kind of found weird that they didn't cast anybody to play Martin Luther King.
I'm surprised by it. Like, I'm very surprised by it. But maybe he just didn't want to take too much focus off of Malcolm because people always put him on completely opposite ends of the scale.
But then they show all those clips of Martin Luther King and you know what I mean, like his thoughts on Malcolm X and whatnot. I'm surprised that because he even put this clip where they're together. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised they didn't have like a little back and forth. I mean, the movie's 3 hours long. Why not throw it in a Martin Luther King cameo? Yeah,
after seeing that, I was wondering because they did meet. Right. So I was like, oh, that would have been interesting to see.
Right, that would have been really interesting to see. We've already gone a little bit over, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my thoughts. While a very long movie, I think I'm gonna say this just like I said for Christopher Nolan. This Spike Lee's best movie right here.
You think this is his best?
I honestly think this is Spike Lee's most Spike Lee movie. I truly do. I truly think this is Spike Lee's most Spike Lee movie. I feel like if it wasn't like this is the movie that like a director works towards making, because from everything that I've seen of Spike Lee, even in like his fiction joints like The Five Bloods and Black Klansman, he's still trying to teach you something. This is the pinnacle. This is what he's trying to teach right here through the words of Malcolm X to the people. This is what he's trying to this is the lesson that he's trying to get across. You know what I mean? Just Malcolm X's life story as an example to the people out there, not just black people, but to all peoples. You know what I mean? I feel like that. I do feel like in this movie is like what makes a Spike Lee movie a Spike Lee movie. Now, as I said with Chris Nolan, or as I should have said with Chris Nolan, I could be wrong because we look at something else from later down on this line. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, damn, this might be Spike Lee's movie. But as it stands right now, brother, I think this Spike Lee's most Spike Lee movie. And with some of the problems that I have, they are outweighed by how much I was kept attentive. Like, there were moments where I did drop out, but there are moments that got me right back in. I enjoyed this movie. I say this is a B+ movie right here, Spike. Other than some of those distracting shots, other than an overly long first act, I think you have done well. And also, I think for a director being in your own movie, I think you're a really good actor. I'm going to have to say that.
Yeah, I think, what was that dude's name?
Shorty?
Shorty, yeah. He did a pretty good job in here.
Really does.
Like you are a fine director to yourself.
Right, exactly though. So no, I'd have to give this a B+ movie right here. Like again, with those problems that I have, I feel like you've probably learned and taken those out. I've seen The Five Bloods. I know you have. You get a little heavy handed with the history. You start putting clips in your shit. I'm gonna need you to stop that. But this is talking to your future self, not your past self. Goddamn.
All right, Nolan.
Right, exactly. Right, I'm going all over through time, but no, I really did enjoy this flick, and that's a great I give it. What about you?
I knew this day would come, mostly because we started recording this podcast. This movie was very long. Cannot be overstated how long this movie is. But as with Trae, I did enjoy this movie.
Wait till Martin Scorsese month where we do the Irish.
God, Jesus Christ! Fucking 4-hour movie.
This man Shake said, "I'm out."
Oh my God!
And then Shakis was never on the movie club again.
True cinema though.
Continue. I had another thought. You saying that gave me another thought, but please continue.
But as I said, with Trae, I did really enjoy this movie. Again, some things took me out, but overall, the music and the scenery they actually try to keep you interested because he's very aware of how long this movie is. And it seems that he learns as the movie goes on, you know, that he needs to put in a little more effort to keep your attention, and I think he does so. Starting with the second act. So I would give this movie a B.
Okay.
I'd give it a B. I would watch it again, but I wouldn't watch the full thing again because it's very long. But it does really give me the incentive to go and do more research on historical figures like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and others, of course, just to be more informed because it'll make it all the more of an impactful film. Because that's kind of the point. Also, you don't really know everything, so it's like learn more.
Yeah, and the movie even says that itself when the dude is giving the eulogy of Malcolm X. Is like there's so many people that cast him as a villain, which we honestly know is true.
That is, if no one told you anything about Malcolm X, they told you that he was the antithesis of Martin Luther King Jr., who was the peace-loving guy.
Which, in some aspects of his early life, he is.
That is very true.
But then in his later life, he isn't.
And it's the same goes for Martin Luther King Jr. He sees nonviolence as the ultimate solution, but they kind of start leveling out and meeting more so in the middle of their ideologies instead of being so far extreme from one another. And like,
and so that's yeah. Hey, this movie does a good job of that.
It does. So yeah. Shit, I might give it a B plus. But you know, B on first viewing. Okay. Very good, informative, but I don't know exactly how much is true. Interested to do more research though.
I want to say this: Martin Luther King shit. Spike Lee is the Martin Scorsese of black film directors.
Of black film directors.
I think so. I truly do.
What makes you say that?
Because like Martin Scorsese, who directs what the hell he knows, which is New York crime films, yes. Spike Lee directs what the fuck he knows, Black history, and you can feel that all throughout his films. All of his films feel like a Spike Lee film. You know,
that's like something I can say.
All the Christopher Nolan films feel like a Christopher Nolan film. All of Martin Scorsese films feel like a Martin Scorsese film. All of Michael Bay films feel like a Michael Bay film, but in a bad way. So like it's like
unless he produces. If he produces, that shit might just be good.
Yeah.
But you know, he ain't the director, so he don't really matter in that aspect.
True. So you know what we thought? Time to see what the people back then thought. This movie with a budget of $35 million received $73 million.
Not bad. I'm surprised it got that much money, low key.
Really?
I mean, bruh, I'm not gonna speak for people in the 90s, but that movie is long.
It is. Titanic is 4 hours.
Never. Never. But it's people must have really loved it. It must have got some really good press for people to actually keep turning out for it. Plus, it's not his first film. It's like 4 films deep or so. So
right at at a box office, the budget that low, one that basically kind of makes this a flop.
Does it?
Yeah. Well, maybe not. It may double its budget back, but maybe I'm thinking too much in current day box offices. But I don't know, when you compare it to stuff like Star Wars, Titanic, shit like that, it's Ghostbusters, it's not great. You still want to make in the triple digits even back then than you do want to make past your double digit budget. They want to see like a major return.
I guess I'm not really abreast with these numbers,
and I could be wrong.
It could be. I mean, of course, the studios want to make the most amount of money that they could possibly make, and I'm not sure how they feel about it. But I don't know. I feel like for Spike, this is a win. He was able to return the budget plus more.
Well,
for Spike, I feel
his, his first film, right? Let's just decide what She's Gotta Have It.
A lot more.
$175,000, $7.1 million return.
That is
a lot more than what he got.
Several times more,
right?
Than the budget.
Let's check his second film. Let's check the one after Malcolm X, Crooklyn. $14 million budget.
Didn't even make the budget
Didn't even make the budget back. Maybe that's the best. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Now I kind of want to go to Rotten Tomatoes, but I feel like that'd be marred by what's happening today than back in the day. I kind of want to know what people's thoughts on it were back in the day. I don't know.
That sounds like research for another time.
Truly.
Research for another time.
Well, people, tell us what your thoughts were today. Let us know down in the comments what you thought of Malcolm X. What would you say to Mr. Spike Lee if you would listen, instead of dancing around on red carpets saying that this isn't his thing? I don't know. In any case, we're gone. Peace, my brother. And remember, keep your mind away from that swine.
What's your name?
Malcolm Little.
No. That's the name of the slave masters who own your family. You don't even know who you are. Who are you?
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure that you check out the other shows that we have on the Facebook, the other main podcast that comes out every other Tuesday. Make sure you leave a like, share it with your friends and your family. Go check out our YouTube where we have content from other Production 1200 works. And make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We post sometimes there. We'll do more. We'll try. Maybe. Like us on iTunes podcast, rate and review. Give us them 5 stars. And we'll see you next time.